So today I felt very compelled to talk about progress, promise, and I'm going to also say problems as well. And so when you're on this journey to actually succeeding and to being able to get to the next level, and you're on a journey, I'm going to talk about a boat and a yacht. Sounds like it's not making sense yet. Just follow me. See, your promise is in the yacht, but your progress is in the boat. And just the other day, I was on a boat ride, literally a yacht ride, with some very well known executive leaders, and I came up with this theory. So I was on this boat ride, and there were a lot of people who wanted to attend this meeting, but the person who owned the yacht was the person who was in charge of inviting people who he believed were very distinguished, established leaders who deserved to get a chance to be in this meeting. And so while I was in this meeting, I hate being on yachts. Let me just give you a sidebar. I get motion sickness in a heartbeat, but I knew this was my opportunity to be able to be around some very well-known executives that I can definitely talk to them about the confidence factor. And so with me being on this yacht, I got a chance to see the view from above and how you can look at all of the other boats coming in because you actually can see them from where your view is. And so I was thinking while I was on this yacht, networking about boats and how the boat represents what could be your potential and how often so many of us and so many people in general are out here rowing a boat. And you're rowing a boat, whether you're rowing it with your hands, you're rowing the boat, you're rowing the boat, you're rowing the boat, you're trying to get to the potential of your promise. And so as you're rowing the boat, you're either rowing it with your hands or you're rowing it with some paddles or some oars or whatever you're rowing it with. And then your anticipation is that you're going to grow into a yacht. But it doesn't look like a yacht at first. From the boat, you're going to go into possibly getting a motorized boat. And you're going to put a motor on the boat, and then you can actually get there a little bit faster and a little bit faster. And you're going to graduate into possibly getting a speedboat, and you're just going to continue on this journey. However, as you are in your boat, and your boat is called potential, there are going to be a lot of people who are going to laugh at you along the way. They're going to look at your potential and laugh and say, you're not going anywhere. I'm not interested in being on your rowboat. Oh, I can give you stories about people who laughed at me while I was rowing my boat with my hands. And, oh, this is not going to turn out to be anything. And they spoke over me and they laughed and laughed and laughed at my dream as I was rowing in my own boat. And so as they saw the potential of what I could be, they laughed along the way. And then all of a sudden, when I got to my promise, which is the yacht, all of a sudden, those people only want to hop on the yacht, but they didn't want to be with me while I was rowing the boat. And so I took this particular person's invitation because he represented what so many people go through, where he was very self-selective in the people he invited on his yacht. And he said something during the meeting that this is the point of this conversation. He says, a lot of people want to be with you on the yacht, but they weren't on the boat with you when you were rowing. And so it made me realize that there are a lot of people who will only come along in your success, but they don't come along in your progress. They're not in it with you when you're rowing your boat. You're not riding. They want to ride in your Maybach, but they didn't want to ride in the Mazda. They don't want to do the work in the back end. They don't want to do the ugly stuff. They don't want to do the things that are not pretty. They don't want to do the things that are going to be at the beginning. But can I tell you something? It's the people who are rowing the boat. Those of you who are out here rowing your own boat, you guys are the ones who are going to get to the next level much faster than the people who are trying to hop on the yacht. Because one thing I can tell you about success is that I'm going to quote Vusi Timberguayo about this. He always goes, there's levels to this. There's levels. There are levels to this, right? And if you're in your boat and you're rowing it and you're doing your own thing and you're avoiding the distractions of people who are telling you that this is stupid, you will never get anywhere, as long as you keep rowing the boat and you're consistent. And the thing is, let me also remind you, you're going to be lonely because boat rides along the boat, you don't have a lot of room for people. But when you invite people and they don't want to come with you, you have to get to a point where you say, it's okay. Don't worry about it. I'll be okay. And you have to continue to go because you'll meet those people when you get to your yacht and they want to hop on. But because of the fact that you've been lonely for a very long time, I want you to also remember this. Now that you've gotten to your promise from your potential, You have to be careful who you invite in your potential. You have to also be very careful who you invite on your promise. So while I was on this boat ride, the gentleman who was very cautious on how he invited and how he had his selection being done to invite people on this particular leadership extravaganza boat ride the other day, this was like Monday, I understood why he wanted to be very selective in the people who got on his boat. I understood why he wanted so many people he had to pre-vet to get on the yacht with him, because most of the people that he invited on the yacht, he actually saw them rowing the boats. He saw them when they were working. He noticed that I was paying attention and I was on my journey and I was alone. And he noticed and he invited me for an invitation to get on the yacht. And so here's where I want to leave this with you. Many of you feel lonely because you're on a boat by yourself. Keep rowing. Because when you get on your yacht, everybody who you invited to be on the boat with you that turned you down when your promise didn't look like anything, because they don't see nobody sees promise in potential. They don't see it. When your promise didn't look like anything and you were telling them you were on your way to a yacht, they didn't see it, and they laughed at your dream and they didn't take you seriously. Those are the people who will be waiting at your yacht for you. But when you actually open the gate to your own yacht, you have to be careful who you let on your boat ride. Because now the thing is, the people who come on your yacht, they might be there for the wrong reason. They might be there because they want a photo op. They want to also be there because I'm going to tell you something about people who get on your yacht at the moment that you get one. Not only do they just want a photo op, they actually want to take you back to a boat. Because their whole thing is they don't understand how you got there. And so for all of you who are struggling to figure out how long do I have to continue to row the boat, let me tell you something. There's no line skipping in this journey called success. None. All of those who want to only call you when it's time for a hookup and a favor and they just want to skip lines, there's no line skipping. You'll never get anywhere. All of those who copy and paste from other people to try to get ahead faster than everybody else, there's no line skipping. You'll never be rewarded for that. It's those of you who are rowing the boat and you're not being deterred by everybody else's comments about what you can and cannot become and what it looks like. Those of you who stay on course, and let me tell you something, they're very few, because most people give up the moment that they hear, well, that looks stupid to row a boat. But that's the only way you're going to get to your promise. But once you get to promise, let me let you know this one more time. Be careful who you let on your ride, because those people are only there for photo ops. You need to invite people on your yacht that you saw rowing boats. You need to invite people on your yacht that you saw that were in your boat with you, rowing with you and helping you. Because if you think for just 1 second that I don't have a ton of adversaries who laughed at my dream, they laughed at the confidence. Oh, there's a ton of women talking about confidence. And the more that we get companies, we have 584 companies who are currently seeking ways to place the confidence factor in their companies. They laughed at me when I came up with the idea, but they don't laugh now that I walk to the bank and deposit checks from those ideas. They don't laugh now. Now they want to get on the yacht. And you'd be shocked how those people laughed when I was just in progress mode. And now that I'm in promise mode, they want to get on. And you have to keep to a point where you're like, oh, stay away. It's not personal, just stay away. I'll support you only if you're going to get in a boat. I'll support you if you consistently row your boat. I will support you if you consistently show me the work. But I can't support you if you just want to hop on for a photo op. I hope that's made sense to you, because somebody needed this today. And as I was sitting on this yacht that I was actually getting all sick of, I was just remembering and reminded how often it is that we get deterred and we get distracted because of the fact that somebody else doesn't want to get on our boat for just a second. You need to remember that.